All right. Good morning, everyone. Um, I'm Dimitri Papadimitriou, and I am President Emeritus of the Migration Policy Institute and President of the Migration Policy Institute Europe. I'd like to welcome you to the Institute, not only those of you who are here physically, but also those people who are viewing us through a streaming process. I don't think that today's topic, when at least we decided to hold it and to advertise it, could have been a more current topic. On the other hand, for those of us who have to follow this issue on a regular basis, it seems that every 24 or 36 hours, the issue sort of changes, sometimes dramatically, sometimes not so dramatically. What we have here is not only a distinguished panel, but a panel of people who have deep experience on these issues. You know some of them, and what I would like to do is introduce you to our special guest, Philip Ackerman, who is the DCM. This is Washington. DCM is, something that you all understand, but for our viewers, the Deputy Chief of Mission, the Deputy Ambassador, whatever you want to call him, for the German Embassy. We thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. Philip is a distinguished diplomat. He's held a lot of very, very senior posts, many of which have had something to do with these issues. And he's a PhD in art history from Bonn University. He has served at the desk and as head of the task force on Afghanistan and Pakistan in Berlin. He served in Rabat, and he served at the UN mission in New York. He's also served in Afghanistan and in New Delhi. And he's got experience, as I said, and now, with Germany being front and center on this issue, the ambassador and he and other senior diplomats at the embassy have an awful lot of work to do, just trying to talk to the press alone. My colleagues and I have had an absurd number of press interviews over the past 2 weeks, probably approaching 200, and yes, I did say 200. This is the topic of the day. To my right is someone that you also, most of you will know, Alex Alenikov. He's in New York on special assignment at the UN. Before that, which was only a few months ago, for about 5 or so years, he was the Deputy High Commissioner for Refugees in Geneva. Before that, he was the Dean and Executive Vice President at Georgetown and the Dean of the Law School. And before that, he was with us both at Carnegie and here at the Migration Policy Institute. And he's been on the board of MPI and all this stuff. Sort of like welcoming an old friend who abandoned us for 5 or 5.5 years. And he finally saw the light, so he came back. On the other side of Alex, this was a good opportunity to reunify all colleagues and friends. One of the previous jobs that Alex had was to be one of Doris's deputies back at the INS, the old Immigration and Naturalization Service that Doris headed for about almost 8 years during the Clinton presidency. And of course, Doris is senior fellow here at the Institute and heads the U.S. Immigration Policy Program. Welcome, Doris. So please be mindful of the fact that this is being live streamed. We'll try to be a bit disciplined. And when we get to the Q&A, please identify yourselves. And please know in advance that, you will be, videoed and you will be heard. So it's important for you to act accordingly, identify yourselves and ask your question. We are going to also have something that to me is new, but what do I know? We're going to be accepting questions through tweets at migration policy or event hashtag MPI discuss. Now, since I am an older person who can't read tweets and things like that, people will be bringing questions up to me in hard copies. So you will forgive me. You will forgive me if this is the only way that this can happen. So what I'm going to do a little bit is, and you have, on your chairs, the report that we're releasing today, at least releasing to this audience. The report was drafted and published a few months ago, but as I was looking at it yesterday, I realized that this might as well have been published yesterday, because it is completely relevant to our conversation today. You also have a piece that the head of our European sister organization, MPI Europe, a commentary that she made and was published on Friday, and a video that I did also on Friday, and you'll have the information on this. Finally, you have a map of Europe, and if Brian will give me my copy of the map of Europe right next to you, it will become very obvious why I have this map of Europe in a minute. So let's start with sort of the event. Some of you, many of you probably know that as we speak, the council that is composed of ministers responsible for this issue at the European Commission is meeting. They started meeting at 9 a.m. They say they're going to meet until 3 p.m., but God only knows. I think the European institutions and meetings are the only set of institutions in which its senior people are expected to pull all-nighters the same way that we did when we were in college, which is an interesting way to run a railroad, or not.